You guys remember in the 90s when you could just win an argument with a lie? Good times. I am not going to the library to look that up. And if a debate ever got really heated in the 90s and people wanted to find out if you're telling the truth, they would just be like, do you swear to God? And if you did swear to God, it was the ultimate affirmation. Everyone would be like, relax, we believe you now. No way you'd bring God into this if you're lying through your teeth. That's so much harder now. You fast forward to the present day, you say anything remotely crazy, your friend's already on his cell phone going, keep talking, dude. That sounds suspect. I'm about to prove you wrong instantly in front of all these people at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Do-do-do down, do-be-do down, down. Comma, comma, down, do-be-do down, down. Comma, comma, down, do-be-do down, down. Breaking up is hard to do. Don't take your love away from me. Don't you leave my heart in misery. If you go, then I'll be blue. 'Cause breaking up is hard to do. Remember when you held me tight and you kissed me all through the night. Think of all that we've been through, and breaking up is hard to do. They say that breaking up is hard to do. Now I know that it's true. Don't say that this is the end. Instead of breaking up, I wish that we were making up again. I beg of you, don't say goodbye. Can't we give that love another try? Come on, baby, let's start anew. 'Cause breaking up is hard to do. They say that breaking up is hard to do. Now I know that it's true. Don't say that this is the end. Instead of breaking up, I wish that we were making up again. I beg of you, don't say goodbye. Can't we give that love another try? Come on, baby, let's start anew. 'Cause breaking up is hard to do. Do-be-do down, down. Comma, comma, down. Do-be-do down, down.
Oh, yes, Neil Sedaka. He had another version of that song back in the 70s. He made a slower version of that song. What a songwriter, huh? He wrote so many songs throughout his career. He's still around, too, Neil Sedaka. He was on Two and a Half Men, King of Queens. He was on that one episode where Arthur said that Neil Sedaka was an old friend of his. And at the end, they show Neil Sedaka reading a letter from Arthur. Arthur Spooner. Anyway, good morning. It's 6:09. I'm Don Rosen. This is one of my favorite shows today. They're all my favorites, but this is a little favoriter, if that's a word. Because the Movie Mom's going to be in this morning at 7 o'clock, and we're talking movies, and I love talking movies on Fridays with Brett Hoffman. But the Movie Mom is going to talk about the entire summer schedule coming out. And I've got a few movies I wrote down that I'm looking forward to. I don't know if they're big movies or not. I've never heard of them before, obviously. But we're going to find out if they're going to be released wide or not. So the Movie Mom will be here. You can check her out at moviemom.com, And we might even talk about her dad a little bit. Her dad was the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission appointed by John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy, in 1961. Her dad, Newton Minow, coined the phrase, TV is a vast wasteland. And we'll tell you a little story about Gilligan's Island and her dad. she got a... This is a good story. I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's true, but we'll talk about that coming up. 610 WRJN Radio, sunny today with a high near 64, increasing cloudiness tonight, lows around 50. Showers and thunderstorms possible tomorrow with a high near 65. Right now, we've got 49 and sunshine. I got to tell you, this morning when I was driving in, I'll tell you exactly where I was. Hold on. Let me think for a second here. I was coming in, and I looked down one of the streets, and I was able to see the sunrise over the lake. It wasn't when you got to South Main. I still think it was on Main Street. And it took my breath away. It was that spectacular. It was spectacular. So if you really want to see a good sunrise in the morning, you got to go out there around 25, that's about 5:25, 5:30. Probably closer to 5:20 because it goes away real fast. Wake up one morning and look toward the east and watch what's going on in the sky. Whoa. Again, took my breath away. It was that spectacular. Love seeing that. All right. Some people think it's too impersonal to click on wedding registries anymore. And there's a reason it's done that way, because otherwise people can get weird. There's a thread on social media where people are talking about the craziest wedding gifts they ever received. You ready? Okay. A copy of Windows 95 for the computer. Problem was, it was 2010. A decorative wall fan made out of plastic forks, lace, and ribbons. It wasn't a joke either. It's from an old lady at the groom's hometown church. A box of soap. Dove soap. A hot dog toaster. Now, the best part of this story is the couple got divorced, then reconciled, and for the second wedding, the same person got them a hot dog toaster again. Did it on purpose because they thought it'd be funny. A salad shooter. Now, listen to this. This is a dangerous thing that can happen when you regift. It's an electric slicer and shredder that looks kind of like a hairdryer. It was a regift, and there was a note inside for the original recipient. They left a note in the box. All right, someone else got a salad shooter from a close friend, and they said they were bummed because it was a cheap plastic appliance. 3 years later, they finally opened it to try it out. Found out it was stuffed with $500 cash. There was an episode on King of Queens about that, where they opened up a gift and they found out there was a check for $1,500 in the box. It had been there for years and years and years. And the check was no good anymore. And they had to somehow convince the people who gave it to them to please rewrite the check but now they had to tell, well, we never opened your gift for about 12 years. So now they had a problem. And the whole episode's about that. And I guess it can happen, People don't open you should open every wedding gift. People, put some thought, most people put thought into their gift, and you should open it. Sometimes we get bad advice from people we trust. Case in point, George Lazenby was offered a 7-movie deal to play James Bond, but he only played him once. And the movie was pretty good, too, on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Now, the reason he only did it once, his agent convinced him that James Bond would be archaic in the liberated 1970s. You talk about your bad advice, huh? He could have played James Bond 7 times. And I think he wasn't good at it, but I wasn't a big fan of Roger Moore as James Bond. So he would have taken all those early Roger Moore movies because the movie on Her Majesty's Secret Service was 1969, so he would have made 6 more James Bond movies after that, but he turned it down. Music news. John Bon Jovi has fans of Shania Twain to thank because she convinced John to get vocal cord surgery instead of going into retirement. John reached out to her when he found out they had the same doctor. Shania had vocal cord surgery back in 2018. Then John had it, and he's singing again. Showbiz news. Kristen Stewart and Oscar Isaac will star as a married couple in a vampire thriller called Flesh of the Gods. That's Flesh of the Gods. It's set in 1980s Los Angeles. They're looking to start shooting later this year. For the 16th straight season, CBS, the most watched network in prime time. And you can check out a trailer for the upcoming Lifetime documentary, The Life and Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson. Mentioned Oscar Isaac there. He's in one of my favorite films that I just love. I love the soundtrack to it. And it's the Coen brothers made it. And this morning I'm just forgetting things. I don't know why. I'm trying to think too hard about movies all morning long. Inside Llewyn Davis. Inside Llewyn Davis is the movie. Oscar Isaac stars in that as Llewyn Davis. It is excellent. My wife and I loved it. It's got performances from Justin Timberlake is in there. And also Adam, what's his name? Big, deep voice, big guy, Adam. I can't think of his last name. Anyway, it's an excellent movie. Inside Llewyn Davis. We saw it during COVID when we were trapped in the house. We got all the films from the Coen brothers we were watching, like Coen Brothers Film Festival. And Inside Llewyn Davis. What a good movie with a great soundtrack. Yeah. All right. Animal news. Ready? A chiropractor in Oklahoma is in the news because he specializes in working with animals. He's done adjustments on everything from dogs to chickens. And now there's a video of him cracking a giraffe's neck, making giraffe feel better. It's trending on Instagram. All right. Is the student in your family getting a bad night's sleep? Well, this may be the reason. Being adored by all is hard work. According to a study, the more popular a student is, the less sleep they get on school nights. See, I never got a problem with sleep on school nights, and now I know why. I was adored by nobody. So I never had a problem. All right, if you ever crunched the numbers on this, listen up. How many breakups would you say you've had in your entire life? Someone polled 4,000 Americans. The top answer was just 2 or 3. That's me, 2 or 3. No matter your age, a third of people have only gone through 2 or 3 breakups. The poll also asked whether it's harder to dump someone or be dumped. The most popular answer was, they both suck. Last question. Do you think breaking up with people is a skill you can get better at? 37% said yes. Practice makes perfect. I broke up with somebody once, and I did it in such a bad way. Oh, I think back and say, what was I thinking? It was just horrible the way I did it. And I feel terrible. I just wanted to get it over with. And I didn't want to have to deal with it anymore. And I just did something very bad. It was just a bad way of doing it. I found all the items that this woman left at my house. I put it in the box and put it on her doorstep and drove away. Oh, that was terrible. And I felt bad, and I apologized for it later on. I said I should never have done that, and I apologized. And we stayed friends. We remained friends. Not close friends, but, cordial. But that was a bad way to do it. I should never have done that. Yikes. All right. This is why you should consult an appraiser. A young pastor wanted to modernize the historic West Philly church. He sold its stained glass window for $6,000. It was actually worth $500,000. Get it appraised first. Sunny today, highs near 64, increasing clouds, lows 50 tonight. Showers and thunderstorms possible tomorrow, highs near 65. Sunshine, 49 degrees in Radio Park. Coming up, we got the movie mom, Nell Minow, at 7:06 this morning at WRJN. You got to keep it here. Coming up this week, too, we're going to do another WRJN historical marker with Chris Morrow. He actually started here when he was a teenager. Then he went off and did other things. He came back as station manager and director of sales for Civic Media. He's got a story to tell. That's coming up here. WRJN, Hometown Radio Refreshed, a Civic Media station.
Fun days filled with
It's 621. Drink at 622 with Chicago Old Days. Sunshine. 64 degrees the high. Increasing clouds. Lows 50 tonight. Showers and thunder bumpers possible tomorrow with a high near 65. Right now, it's sunny and 49 degrees at Radio Park here at WRJN Radio at 99.9 FM, 98.1 FM, and the legendary AM frequency of 1400 WRJN. Hometown Radio. Refreshed. Here's a fun fact for you I found out. Jim Carrey had the chance to play Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. You know, that's the one Johnny Depp wound up with. But he turned it down because it conflicted with filming Bruce Almighty. Should have taken the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Have you ever seen something like this on a job application before? A woman in Los Angeles just tweeted out a picture of the most bizarre question she has ever seen on a job application, and it went viral. The question was, you've been given an elephant. You can't give it away or sell it. What would you do with the elephant? I have no idea what the job was or how she answered it. I don't know what possible. She was applying for a disc jockey job. They want to see how weird you are, because the weirder, the better on the air, huh? Is it possible you're being condescending to your coworker? Oh, by the way, we used to have a question on an application. I don't know. I never filled out a job app before, believe it or not. I'm not even sure if I ever filled one out. No, I don't think I ever filled out a job application before. In radio, it's different how you get jobs. But anyway, so we had a job application form here years ago, and the question was, are you a convicted felon? And I was doing, taking in the job apps from each person that came in. I looked at it and said, yes. And I looked at the person and I was thinking, you're a convicted felon. What did you do? Now, I didn't ask him. And I just gave him a look and, wow, what? And I'm trying to figure out by looking at their eyes, what did you do to become a convicted felon? I assume it wasn't anything too bad or you wouldn't be sitting across from me now. But that also scared me. I got a convicted felon sitting across from me. All right. Is it possible you're being condescending to your coworkers without even realizing it? For example, the phrase, I actually like that idea. That can make it sound like you don't value their ideas in general. So just say, that's a great idea. That's much better. And the line, you're missing the point, puts all the blame on them. So a better way to say it is, let me rephrase it so that it's clearer. Good luck with that one. That is our next phrase, by the way. Good luck with that. Makes it sound like you're expecting them to fail. So when you see someone tackling a difficult task, it's better to say something like, well, that sounds tough. Feel free to let me know if you need help. I like the other one. You're missing my point, you moron. I guess you could be condescending even without realizing it, huh? All right. If you're waiting for your kids to beginning to like vegetables, don't hold your breath. The average person doesn't start embracing foods they avoided as kids until at least 22 years later. The top 3 foods we eventually enjoy, vegetables like broccoli, kale, and Brussels sprouts. I am living proof that it doesn't work because my mother and my father, they didn't threaten me. Okay, they threatened me. I wasn't allowed to leave the table. I've told the story a couple of times, I think. I wouldn't eat my peas one day at the dinner table. My mother gave them to me by accident because she knows I didn't like peas. And she went to go take them off my plate, and my father said, no, leave them. He'll eat them. And I said, no, I won't. And I was about 8 years old, 9 years old, if that much. And my father said, oh, you'll eat them. I said, Dad, I can't. I won't be able to hold them down. So they went down to the rec room to watch TV for 2 hours. I had to sit at the table and didn't eat them. It wasn't because I was being rebellious. It was that I knew I couldn't hold them down. I'd throw up all over the table. I knew I would. So I didn't eat them. And eventually I went to bed without eating them. To this day, 100 years later, I still don't eat peas or vegetables. Now I'll eat carrots, corn, things like that. And I eat salads, with lettuce and green peppers on it and everything. But I won't eat peas, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans. I can't, because everybody in my family loved them. And my wife loves them. I mean, everybody loves them except me. My brother eats them because he, I guess when he was threatened, he did what he had to do. I don't know. I just never ate them. Never worked with me. The pandemic may have ended the concept of snow days. New York City's public schools have no more snow days. They got rid of them. If there's too much snow for kids to come in, they switch to remote learning. See how the pandemic changed our lives? See, New York City schools got rid of snow days this year. No more snow days. Oh, it's too snowy? All right, we'll do it by computer. Remember when you used to have snow days? You went outside, yay! And you went out, played in the snow. You loved. I remember listening to our local radio station, WGBB on Long Island, which I eventually, worked at. But when I was a little kid, we used to listen to make sure our school district was on there. And it said, I remember the announcer, Dave Vieser, who I used to work with, used to come on the air and say, the following school districts will not have school today. And I remember saying Massapequa District number 23. And they said, yes! Let's go out and play, my brother and I. No more snow days. The pandemic got rid of that. We found a better way to do it. And that's something. Just when you thought the pandemic was over. All right. Before you get married, quiz your wife or husband-to-be. A bride in India called off her arranged marriage after she got suspicious that her husband didn't have any education. He couldn't answer when she quizzed him on naming multiples of 2. That was the test. Give me multiples of 2. He couldn't do it. So they called off the wedding. Yeah, okay. I didn't have any quiz. I could have done well on that multiples of 2 question. There's some I couldn't do well on, but I could do well on that. Sunny today with a high near 64, increasing cloudiness, lows 50 tonight. Showers and thunderstorms possible with a high near 65 tomorrow. Sunny, 49 degrees right now at Radio Park. 629 WRJN Radio. Hometown Radio refreshed. I'm Don Rosen here at your Civic Media Station. 99.9 FM, 98.1 FM, and 1400 AM. I'd like to listen to it on AM. I just love the sound of AM radio. I think it's because I was brought up on AM radio. I tried switching to 99.9, but I love 1400. I like the sound of it. All right, don't forget Nell Minow, the movie mom, coming up this morning here on WRJN at 7:06.
Talking is obsolete. It's antiquated. I feel like a blacksmith up here sometimes, to tell you the truth. I could text you this whole thing. We can get the hell out of here right now. Why would I want to get information from a face when I could get it from a nice, clean screen? Don't you feel uncomfortable now? Faces come up to you? Well, I'll tell you what I think that way out of the guy. Their lips and their teeth and their gums and there's a missed shaving spot, there's a piece of crust, some goo, you see a little lunch remnant in their teeth. Just send me an email about this, would you? I can't do it anymore. Your face is the worst news I've had all day. We want to text. Text. We like that word, don't we? Text. It's fun to say. It's got the short, tight, got the X in there, a little bite to it. Text it. Don't tell me. Text it. Don't tell me.
6:37 at WRJN Radio. I'm Don Rosen. I want to thank you for joining us here today. Yeah, we mentioned earlier that the New York City Public Schools got rid of all their snow days. Now, if it snows, turn on your computer at home. We'll still teach you. But somebody sent me a note, Jeff sent me a note that said that Racine Unified Schools still have snow days and cold days. I think eventually all schools are going to get rid of those snow days because you really don't need them anymore. You can learn at home by computer. Hey, we've got news this morning. Our local news from Stuart J. Waddles keeping an eye on things in our news center this morning. The former Foxconn site, where the president will speak this week. President Biden is planning to visit the old Foxconn site in Mount Pleasant Wednesday to celebrate Microsoft's development there. Microsoft acquired nearly 1,500 acres of land at the old site and plans to use it for new data centers. Democrats in Wisconsin had criticized the original Foxconn deal when President Trump visited the site back in 2017. I like the way it's being called the old Foxconn site, huh? The ex-Pleasant Prairie Public Works Director will report to jail this week. John Steinbrink Jr. pleaded guilty last week to 3 misdemeanor counts of attempted misconduct in public office. He was sentenced to 2 years probation, 1 year of jail time, and a fine of $30,000. He was granted work release. The charges were related to Steinbrink purchasing equipment from the village of Pleasant Prairie at a discount. Felony charges were thrown out in favor of misdemeanors. A longtime advocate for Racine passed away last month. Bob Ortel passed away at the age of 81. His efforts were instrumental in the creation of the Kids Cove Playground over 20 years ago. One of Bob's final wishes was to have the paint on the lakefront playground area at Kids Cove touched up to honor his memory and fulfill his request. The Friends of Kids Cove organization has organized a special event on Saturday, May 18th. The park will be closed part of that day. Those are the stories Stuart J. Waddles is keeping an eye on this morning and all day long. He'll be adding stories to that at the top and the bottom of the hour here at WRJN Radio. Kids Cove, when I had my Beagle, I used to walk him right by Kids Cove all the time. And the kids going, can I pet your dog? Can I pet your dog? And, you know, Chester, I don't know if he liked it or not, but he put up with it. Yeah, you can pet me. What do I care? Just give me a treat. But yeah, we used to go walk around Kids Cove in the back. There's a little trail in the back people don't know about. And when I used to walk him on that trail in the back, and he loved it. Millions of smells. He loved it because, you know, beagles are like bloodhounds, and they're hunting dogs. And he used to love that Kids Cove. What a nice playground. Looks like a lot of fun. You know, I wish I was a kid again. I'd like to do those bouncy houses, and I'd like to try some of these playground rides they have now. You know what they don't have when I was a kid? When I was a kid, they had them. They don't have them now. The jungle gyms. I haven't seen jungle gyms since I'm a kid. On our playground outside our kindergarten room was a jungle gym. And it was just steel bars. You climbed all over it. You hung upside down by your feet. We all did that. It's amazing that they let that stuff go on because kids fell from that thing all the time. Now you dusted yourself off and you climbed up another ride or you did it again. You didn't cry. There was no lawsuits or court cases. But I don't see those jungle gyms anymore. I don't know if schools even have them anymore in the playground. I drive past the Jane School every day. I should take a look on the playground when I go by. But it looks kind of creepy if I'm looking on the playground. I just want to see if they have a jungle gym back there. Yeah, they have all these great things to do on the playground, and I miss them. I see these rides at Kids Cove, and just the thought of it, looks nice. And what do you mean the former Foxconn site? Are they dead and gone, Foxconn? Remember that? They had the governor there. What's his name? I can't think of any names this morning. I thought of it yesterday when we were driving through the old Foxconn site. Anyway, the governor was there along with Donald Trump, and they would dig in and say, this is the future of America. And look at it. There's nothing there. The old Foxconn site. Yeah, that was a bust, huh? I can't think of the governor's name. Starts with an S. His first name, I think. Scott Walker, that was it. Governor Walker was out there with Donald Trump holding hands and saying, yeah, look, that's the future of America. Look at it now. There's nothing there. What's that big bubble they have there? That giant bubble. We passed by yesterday. I don't know what that big bubble is. Huh. Okay, well, no, yeah. If you know, give me a call. Or give me a call. Give me a text message if you know what that big bubble is by Foxconn. 262-300-6000. 7445 262 300 7445. Looks like a nuclear reactor or something like that, you know? Like energy is coming from that. Speaking of which, I have to tell the movie mom this. I saw Forbidden Planet the other day. This is a movie from the late 50s. And it's kind of cheesy and hokey, but what a great movie. I loved it, Forbidden Planet. And that's where we got to meet Robbie the Robot. Now, that's the same robot you saw in Lost in Space, the same robot you saw in a lot of Twilight Zone episodes. He was even on Columbo for an episode, Robbie the Robot. MGM made him, I think, $125,000 in the 50s, a lot of money. And they made him for the movie Forbidden Planet, but they got their money's worth out of him because he was in a ton of TV shows and movies over the years, Robbie the Robot, including Lost in Space. Remember? Danger, Will Robinson, Danger. That was Robbie the Robot. Anyway, what a great movie. I have to mention that to her. I just saw it on TCM the other day, Forbidden Planet. It's coming up again this month, by the way. You see a lot of movies, so you say, oh, I'll tape that one and give it a try. Man, good movie. Loved it. We also saw, we got from the public library was The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. Now, this was a redo of The Godfather 3. I was never a big fan of Godfather 3. Godfather 1 and 2, probably the best two movies, a movie and its sequel, ever made in the history of movies. And that's even better than Superman 1 and 2. Godfather 1 and 2 are, you have to bow down to them. They are amazing movies. Godfather 3, not so much. It was very slow, Godfather 3. There are a lot of slow spots, and they had some people that couldn't act well in the film. And I hate to say it because she's a great director now, Sofia Coppola. She really couldn't pull off the role. But she's a great director today. Just not a good actress, but fantastic director. Anyway, so they reshot some of the, not reshot, but re-edited the film down. Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. I don't think they made it better. I didn't like the ending. The new ending is different. Remember in the first ending, Michael, he's sitting on that chair and he keels over and he dies an old man. Well, in the new one, he doesn't keel over and die. He just is sitting there in the chair, so he doesn't die. And there's some other scenes in there which they didn't really make it better. It's a slow-moving movie. It's okay. It's better than most, but it's not as good as Godfather 1 and 2. They could never bring it up to that level. Plus, we also got the restoration of Godfather 1, 2, and 3, which we didn't watch the movies. We watched the extras on there, the bonus features. And Clemenza, played by Richard Castellano, they wanted him for Godfather 2 and 3, and he wouldn't do them. He just wanted too much money. So he's in Godfather 1. That was Clemenza. And they have another actor playing him as a young man with Robert De Niro, and De Niro and Clemenza are buddies when they're young men. But if you don't know The Godfather, this doesn't make any sense to you. Anyway, we'll talk to Movie Mom about that. I got so much to talk to her about. The Movie Mom, Nell Minow, coming in a little after 7 o'clock this morning. All right, a study figured out how to predict when someone's on the verge of quitting their job. The signs? A big drop in engagement. Their work isn't challenging. They're not advancing. They don't like their boss, and they're cleaning out their desk. Now, that last one I added in there. But that's a good sign. Before I got fired from WRJN by a previous owner, I knew it was coming because I just knew he didn't want to spend any money. So I started taking my stuff home. And it took like 2 days to get the car loaded with all my stuff. And it was my stuff. And, over 24 years, you get a lot of stuff. And so I knew it was coming. So the day I left, I just took my body out the door because everything else was home. So that's how you know when someone starts cleaning out their desk. A study found that people who got just 16 minutes less of sleep than usual had a tough time focusing and processing information at work the next day. 16 minutes. That's mostly true on work days when people had to do a bunch of stuff they weren't excited about. I'm a clock watcher. I get up during the night all the time. Yeah. Do you know that eating fruits and vegetables before bed can wake you up in the middle of the night? You know why? There's so much water in them. Makes you want to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Hey, we've got some tickets to give away. Let's do this now because I almost forgot. We have tickets to the State Fair to give away. If you haven't won anything in the past 60 days, all right, here you go. We've got a pair of tickets to go see TLC coming up Friday, August 2nd on the main stage at the Wisconsin State Fair. And TLC will be joined by Jordan Sparks. Whoa, what a show. And also we have tickets to go see the Brothers Osborne at the Wisconsin State Fair main stage Sunday, August 4th. And they'll be joined by Sarah Evans. 2 good shows. I've got a pair of tickets. So you can go free. You get to choose the show, the TLC show or the Brothers Osborne. Give me a call. 262-634-9756. 262-634-WRJN. 262-634-9756. 262-634-WRJN. And I give you a pair of tickets. You choose the show. And we'll get you those tickets to the Wisconsin State Fair in August. I know it's a long way away, but, you know. Hi, what's your first name?
Phil.
What is it?
Phil.
Phil. Hi, Phil. How are you this morning?
Good.
Okay, Phil, which show do you want to go to?
Jordan Sparks one or whatever.
The Jordan Sparks thing? Okay. Jordan Sparks is going to be with the Brothers Osborne. Oh, no, it's Sarah Evans. I'm sorry. You're right. TLC is going to be with Jordan Sparks. TLC, and that is coming up on Friday, August 2nd. You hold on the line, Phil, okay? Don't go anywhere. I'm going to get some information from you. Where are you calling from? Racine?
Racine.
All right. Hold on. Did you just wake up?
No.
Okay. Just seeing what time people wake up in the morning. All right, Phil, hold on. We got some tickets for you. 649 at WRJN Radio. Hometown Radio refreshed a civic media station. We're at 99.9 FM, 98.1 FM, and the legendary historic AM frequency in Racine of 1400 WRJN. It's 6:53 at WRJN Radio. Beautiful day today. Sunny, highs near 64. Increasing clouds tonight, lows 50. Maybe some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow with a high near 65. Right now, sunny, perfect. It's 51 degrees. What a beautiful morning to wake up in Racine. Coming up, we've got the Movie Bomb. A little after 7 o'clock this morning, we're talking movies, what's coming out this summer, and we're going to see some of her grades on the current movies out now. song's about, I think it's about this guy, Billy, who's running from the law. And his friend says, call me. Don't lose my number. Call me. I think that's what the song's about. I was trying to decipher the song for years. I think that's what I came down to. Phil Collins, don't lose my number. It's 6:54 at WRJN Radio. Hey, do you know a child who is coping with grief and the loss of a loved one? Hospice Alliance offers Connections, Planting Seeds of Hope, a support group for children and their trusted adults to meet others who are experiencing grief. To learn more about finding healing and peace, or if you're seeking hospice care, ask for Hospice Alliance, the award-winning community-based nonprofit that gives back through education, services, and grief support. To learn more, visit hospicealliance.org. That's hospicealliance.org. I was going to say something, and I forgot what it was. That's something brilliant to say. No, I forgot what it was. That's happening a lot lately. All right. Which modern inventions have improved your life the most? Here are the top 5 answers. Washing machines, refrigerators, smartphones, online banking, and laptops. Nope. Refrigeration. I don't know how people in days prior to air conditioning survived. You see these pictures of big cities like Chicago, New York, where people are walking in the streets with these heavy black woolen coats and these women wearing these huge dresses, outfits in the summertime in the heat of Chicago and New York. And I once asked my mother, how did they survive? She goes, they didn't. They died. It got too hot. You got heat stroke and you died. So God bless air conditioning, refrigeration. I remember before we had an air conditioner in our car, we used to take trips. And it was so hot in the summer. You roll down the window. The people in the back seat got that nice breeze. When my father wanted to roll down the window, we got this nice breeze going back there. But in the house, it was so hot. You'd open the windows, put fans on, and then we got an air conditioner. And life as I know it today changed forever with air conditioning. So refrigeration. I could do without laptops. I could do without Wi-Fi. I can't do without refrigeration. The average person only has to deal with a tech problem for 12 minutes before they get frustrated. And 15% of us have gotten so angry with a gadget, we destroyed it. The most annoying tech problems, slow internet, slow computer, and pop-up ads. I don't get frustrated with them. I get anxious about them when computers don't work. I don't get frustrated because I don't know how to fix them. Here are 10 things you're most likely to remember from when you were a kid. Christmas with your family, going to the beach, that I remember. Going to your grandparents' house, yes. Hearing the music from the ice cream truck, absolutely that music. Not like they play the theme song to that do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. We didn't have that kind of music. Getting an allowance, I don't think I got an allowance. Buying candy, learning to ride a bike, playing on the playground, which I talked about already with the dangerous jungle gyms we used to play with, and getting a pet. I think going to the beach. Because I lived on Long Island. We had Jones Beach, and we used to go there all the time. Then in the summers, we lived in Queens and Rockaway Beach in Queens, and we used to go there all the time. We had a bungalow there for the summer. We spent our summers in Queens, and it was really, I loved it. I loved going to the beach, and almost drowned once, too. You know that story? Okay, so here's what happened. It's not funny. I guess it is funny. So we're at Jones Beach, and I was looking for my mother. So I turned around while the waves were coming, and I'm looking for her because I got lost. I was about 9 years old, and I got lost, and a wave took me over and pulled me out, and I was spinning around upside down all directions with the wave, and I panicked, and I was breathing in the water, and I couldn't get it out because I was underwater, and finally the wave retreated, and I'm coughing and pretending I was okay because I don't want people to panic. But my mother saw me, and she came running in front of everybody, started screaming, "Are you okay?" Smashing my back to get the water out. And she said, everybody starts to gather around, and I wanted so much just to, please, Mom, I'm fine. Don't do this. Anyway. So that was my days at the beach. So I do remember the beach. It's funny what we remember. Hey, the movie mob is coming up. I'm Don Rosen.